Well, if your fish tank isn't pumping water, there are a couple things you want to look for. A lot of times it's the most obvious thing. Maybe it got unplugged, maybe the surge strip is unplugged. Sometimes when people do maintenance, they accidentally plug their filter into their light timer. So the filter could be on the same timer as the light and it could be off. So look for the obvious things first. Then you want to make sure that it's not clogged. A lot of times if people neglect their filter systems, it gets so clogged to the point where the water doesn't even flow through it. So a clogged mechanical filter or a blocked passageway from a carbon filter bag that hasn't been cleaned and now it's got just a solid film of muck or bacterial slime on it, that'll impede the water flow, preventing your filter from working. So first look at the obvious, make sure it's plugged in. You could also feel it and see if it's warm. If it's warm, that means that it is plugged in and the motor is probably either in like a neutral state, so you want to unplug it, let it cool down. If you're handy, you can take it apart to the point where, that you feel comfortable with, clean the impeller. A lot of times on overflow style or hang-on style filters, the impeller gets a piece of hair in it, human hair, or just something that gets clogged around the impeller shaft. So taking the impeller out, cleaning it with a paper towel, making sure nothing's clogged or nothing's stuck on it, then putting it back in will often free up the filter and get it to work again. Sometimes the impeller gets dislodged. You have to take it out and just reset it. Another thing to look for is evaporation in the aquarium. Sometimes your water level evaporates to the point where a big air bubble gets sucked into the intake tube, causing an airlock in the filter. Canister filters are very prone to this. Sometimes the air stone will move itself underneath the intake of a filter and air goes into the filter, sits at the top of the canister filter, and then you have an airlock and the canister filter doesn't work. So you can take the canister filter, open it up, fill it up with water, get it primed again. That should solve it. Otherwise, you can take the filter, turn it on its side very slowly to get the air bubble to shift away from the head where the impeller is. Once the filter kicks in, you can hear it start to push water again, and then slowly invert it back so that the air bubble slowly gets grabbed by the impeller and gets pushed out back into the aquarium. But a lot of times it's either that the filter is clogged from not being cleaned properly, or it's unplugged, or it's got an airlock. Those are the most common reasons why a filter won't flow water.